There we go. All right, I'll scoot over and make my way to the mat. In the meantime, find a comfortable seat. And you can go ahead and close your eyes and get settled in. All right. So find a comfortable seat, feel supported. I invite you to close your eyes. And just take a moment to be in this space. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. And perhaps placing one hand over your heart, noticing your breath, the rise and fall of the chest. No need to change the breath, we're just noticing it. Checking in. Maybe you feel the beat of your heart. Two beautiful gifts, the breath and the heart beating. And if you'd like, you could place the other hand over your heart as well. And just take a moment to perhaps consider placing in your heart someone or something for which you are feeling grateful in this moment, on this day. Resting the hands in the lap, you can have palms up or down, whichever is feels best to you. Sometimes at the beginning, it's nice to have the palms down to help us ground. And we'll take a bit of time to do a body scan. And just beginning with the toes and working all the way through the body to the crown. Noticing how you're feeling in your body this morning. Noticing any areas of discomfort, tension. And we'll just begin by placing our attention on the feet, the lower leg, the upper legs, your torso, both the front of the torso and the back of the torso, your shoulders and arms, the neck, and the head. And then we'll take a nice, long, beautiful inhale and just visualize sending our breath to those parts of the body in need or throughout the whole body. And then on the release or the exhale, letting that discomfort go. So let's breathe in through the nose if that's accessible to you. A nice, long, slow, deep breath, sending it through the body. And exhaling through the nose, releasing any of that discomfort. Go ahead and do that a couple of more times. And as we begin our class today, I'd like to share with you a quote from Rachel Brevin. And I've shared this before, but it's worth revisiting. The goal of yoga. The goal is to create space where you were once stuck, to unveil the layers of protection you've built around your heart, to appreciate your body and become aware of the mind and the noise it creates. The goal is to love, well, you. Come to your yoga mat to feel, not to accomplish. Shift your focus and your heart will grow. And our mantra today is I love and honor my body, mind, and spirit. And as you continue to practice with eyes closed, if that feels all right to you, connect your fingertips and the tips of your thumb as if you were holding a small crystal globe, creating a sphere within that shape. This mudra is Hakini Mudra, and it's a beautiful mudra for integrating all parts of our being. So you can just hold that out in front of the navel area, or you can rest your hands in your lap, whatever feels best to you. And as we hold Hakini Mudra, we'll practice Samavriti or even breath. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling, 2, 3, 4. And you can do a longer, slower inhale and a longer, slower exhale. And just count inside your head, practicing that even breath. It's calming, balancing. And just a lovely place to come as we center and begin our practice today. We'll just open our eyes and with a soft gaze, inhale, taking hands to sky, exhale, lowering them to the earth. Breathing in, slowly, gently, and out. Almost as if we were in water. One more time, breathing in and out. All right, we'll go ahead and begin warming up the body. Welcome to our new friends that have joined us. So glad you're here. So we're beginning in a seated position on the chair. And we'll start by interlacing our fingers and extending our arms outward. And as we inhale, bring them upward. Now this might be a little intense for your shoulders, so you can have your elbows bent if that feels better in your body. And then exhale, bring them back to center. And cross the wrists at heart center. We'll do that again, breathing in, fingers interlaced and outstretched. And exhaling, lowering the arms. And just a gentle reminder that if you are not muted, to please do so during class, and then at the end we'll unmute and can connect them. Okay. Next, bring one arm up with the wrist bent so the fingers are pointing behind you. The other arm is at your side with the fingertips pressing forward, and reach out, noticing any sensations there. And then we'll shift and bring the other arm upward and the other arm downward.
Stay here, baby. I'll be right back.
And we'll move that a couple of more times. Just moving very slowly. Go ahead and do that one more time. And after you've done both sides, and you're even, cross your wrists at heart center. And next, we'll bring our hands down our thighs, down our knees, and just let them rest on the front of the knee, maybe a little below the front of the knee.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm not sure who's unmuted, but if you could please mute yourself, that would be great. And then as we inhale, we'll pull up on the legs and the heels will come off the floor. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, the hands are pulling upward on the legs. They're not really moving, just pulling upward, heels rise. Exhale, lower. And just move through that a few more times. And then go ahead and cross your wrists at heart center. That's keeping your elbows at your sides. Clench both fists. And then we're going to sort of a slow motion air punch forward with one arm and then with the other arm. So reaching out, pressing out with the fist clench, feeling that engagement of the arms. And then across the body, crossing that midline. And then the other side. And then we'll go upward. And downward. And then cross your wrists at heart center. Sorry. There we go. All right, and from here, we'll reach one arm out to the side as if you're holding a bow. We'll do a little archery. Holding that bow steady and strong. This arm is engaged as the other arm comes around and draws back on that string, pulling back. Feel the engagement in both arms and then release. Allow the arms to float down for a moment. Cross at heart center. And then we'll reach out to the other side. Holding that bow steady and strong. Bringing the other arm around to pull back on that string. So much engagement here. Fingers, wrists, arms, and shoulders. And then release. And again, cross your wrists at heart center. Okay. Next, we'll take our arms out at W. Like a scale. And as we inhale, we'll look to one side. Exhale, bring the gaze forward, crossing the wrists. Inhale, looking to the other side. Exhale, crossing the wrists. We'll just move through that one more time on each side. Just lovely movement to begin our day. And then we'll bring our hands to our hips. And as we inhale, lift the heart, not throwing the neck back, just letting that heart reach out upward. And on the exhale, round the back. Although if you have osteoporosis or spinal concerns, simply lean back and keep a long spine. So inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, back. Do that one more time. And then come to center, and we'll just bend to one side. See when you might begin to feel a little bit there, even with our hands on our hips. It's just a gentle first side bend of the day. We'll do one more time on each side. It's interesting, on one side, I really don't feel a lot. And yet on the other side, boy, I feel it all the way from my hip to my neck. It's good to pay attention to the body. That's what yoga is really about. It's not about what you look like. It's about what you're noticing about how you're feeling within the body. Okay. All right. So from here, let's just find a nice, comfortable seat. And we'll take one ear toward that same shoulder. And just find the position where your neck isn't backwards, but it's pretty even with your shoulder and your ear. And then come back to center, and we'll take it toward the other side. And then come back to center. We'll revisit the first side. Take our gaze down toward the shoulder, noticing where we feel the sensations in this position. And taking the gaze forward and bringing the head back up to center, we'll revisit the second side. Taking the gaze downward. Then gaze forward and head back up to center. Wow. All right. Switch over here. Love and honor my body, mind, and spirit. That's what it's all about. We will begin with Tadasana, or mountain posture. The cues are the same, so you may choose to practice this seated or standing. If you're standing, some folks like to have maybe move the chair out a bit so you can stand behind the chair. And that's just kind of nice to have just in case you might want it for some balance support. And you might, because from here we will be moving into some moving mountain. So it might be nice to have that. All right, so Tadasana, mountain. So first of all, let's root down into the three corners of the feet. The big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel. It can be helpful to lift all 10 toes to begin with, to really key into those three areas and feel the engagement all the way up through your legs, whether you're seated or standing. Then you can relax the toes down, but keep that engagement in the legs. And draw in your core to help support your back. Relax the shoulders down and back. Just let the arms dangle at your sides, palms facing forward. And then just lower the chin slightly, just to allow for a little more expansion in that cervical spine. but yet your gaze is forward. Tadasana Mountain. A posture of stability, strength, stillness, and serenity. A posture you can practice anytime, pretty much, and anywhere. It's a lovely way to check in with your body, your posture. Yeah, it's nice. And then from here, we'll come up on the toes and then lower the heels to the earth. So this is a balance practice. As soon as even one heel leaves the earth, it becomes a balance practice. So if you're practicing standing, you don't have to lift the heels up super high. You can just lift them up a little bit. It's not necessary to come up like you're wearing Barbie high heels. You can, but it's not necessary. And just breathing, lifting those heels and lowering. And then we'll lift one arm at a time. We'll just breathe in, raising an arm, lower. Breathe in and exhale. So moving with the breath, gently, building balance, strength. This is also very calming, this movement with the breath. Inhale, exhale. You can go even slower than I am. Or maybe you just want to stand in Tadasana. Let's try both arms up and lower. Excellent. And then from here, we'll move into some sun salutations, which can also be done seated or standing. So we'll begin in mountain. Okay. But I do want to point out that part of this will be a half bend. And if you're seated, you hinge from the hips, not the waist, but from the hips. And you'll just come forward, not the chest all the way to the lap, but maybe about halfway. That's a half bend, practicing in the chair. Practicing standing, we typically bend from our waist, and that's very much of a strain on the back. So you're going to hinge from your hips as if from here up is a lid to a box. So when you hinge forward, you keep a long spine. So not dropping the head, not looking at your legs, keeping that spine aligned from the base to the top of it. I can't think of what it's called. All right. So I did want to point that out because we have a couple of new friends with us today. So I wanted to point out the hinging from the hips. So it can also, it's nice to engage your core a little bit when you do that. It just helps to protect the back. All right, let's get started. Let's inhale, take our arms to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, half bend. And you can have your hands on your thighs if you would like. Inhale, hands to sky or Hatasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathing in, arms up. Exhale, half bend. Breathing in all the way up. Exhale, one arm comes down while the other one reaches behind you at shoulder height. How far behind you is up to you, what feels good in your shoulder, but your gaze is just to the side. You're not turning your neck around to follow your arm. Your gaze is to the side. Then we'll inhale, back to Hatasana, and exhale the other side. It's a very gentle twist. Inhale, so exhale, half bend. And also, if you have a chair in front of you, you can have your hands on the chair during this half bend. Inhale up. Exhale, let's just go to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, half bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring your hands. If you're practicing this standing, it can be, you put your hands out in front of you. If you're pressing it into the floor or a wall and lifting your heart, but you're pressing back. So your hands are not even with your shoulders, but a little bit in front of your shoulders. And you're lifting your heart and practicing on the chair. You can bring your hands to your knees, and as you pull back, bring your heart forward. So that was a lot of talking for one inhale. So I hope you just keep breathing in and out. A little bit of seated or standing cobra. All right, and we'll release that inhale, take arms to sides. This time we'll twist to one side, but bring this hand over, place it on the opposite knee. And then inhale, up. Exhale, and opposite. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So let's just do a bit of a lunge before we go any further. And to practice a lunge seated, you can bring your knee up to your chest and press this other foot into the earth. To practice standing, you can use your chair as support and just step one leg back and come forward and just get a nice stretch there. You can even bend the knee a little. Okay. And then from here, we'll bring both feet back to earth. So lower the foot if you're practicing on the chair. Can't even stand on 2 feet today. And then we'll go to the other side. So bring the other knee up to the chest or step the other foot back. And it is nice to have a chair or something in front of you to help balance. And you can keep that back knee bent, or you can straighten it, or you can just move it a little bit. This can be intense on the knees. So you have to honor your body. Remember our mantra, I love and honor my body, mind, and spirit. Okay, and then lower that foot to the earth. Go ahead and take the legs wide. And we'll just explore a bit of a bend with wide legs. And if you have a block, you can have it in front of you. It's not necessary. You can always just have your hands right here. And for this, you might want to, if you're using the chair as support, you could place your hands on the seat of the chair, or you can place them on the back of the chair. And we're simply going to hinge forward and do a wide-legged forward bend. So we'll come about halfway. And that's where we'll be for today. So we're not taking the heart, but the head below the heart. Now, maybe you're feeling stretch, expansion in the back of the legs as they press into the earth and support you. And then we'll press back up to standing. Then heel toe your feet back together. And bring your arms forward like we did at the beginning of the class, but this time interlace, but have your index fingers pointing outward or upward. And then we'll bring the arms up over the head. Now, maybe you're here. We have to honor those shoulders. Or here. Maybe it feels better in your body to bend your elbows. Or maybe you're here. Find the place that feels good in your shoulders and your body. We'll move into a bit of a crescent moon. So with the arms overhead, you can sometimes experience a bit more expansion on that outside of the body, on that side body. And then come back to center. We'll go the other way. If it feels differently on this side, if that's tense in your shoulder, you simply bring your fingertips down to your shoulder. And then come back to center. And let's release the fingers and let's just see how slowly we can let our arms release and lower. Palms facing toward the ground, bring them down to side. All right, beautiful. All right, so take one foot. For Peaceful Warrior, there are some, you have some options for your foundation. So if you're practicing in a chair, it can be nice to sit sideways in the chair, and then that front knee is bent, and then this leg can be out to the side, or it can extend back. And you will be facing this way. Okay. If you're practicing standing, again, you can use a chair to have in front of you for support, if you would like. Maybe I want to put my chair here. Okay. And then you will step back with one foot and bend the front knee. Now keep some space like between the insides of the feet. So it's more like you're standing on railroad tracks than a balance beam. So find your foundation. This back foot, the toes might be angling a little out toward the side of the mat. All right, so here we are. We're building strength in these legs for sure. And then you can bring your hands to heart center. They can be out at W, or they can be up overhead. And I'm going to face you. I have my grippies on. So your hands can be wherever feels best in your body. Let's just move in and out of this for a moment. Boy, building the strength in the legs. So let's inhale. Exhale, bend the front knee, hands to heart center. On the bend the front knee when you're in the chair, you'll keep your front knee bent, but you can just relax that leg. And then inhale. And exhale. Breathing in to Virabhadrasana 1, Peaceful Warrior. Breathing out. We'll just move through this a few times at your pace. This gentle movement with the breath, very calming. You also always have the option that you're like, hey, I love this Warrior 1, and I just want to hold it for a few breaths. You can do that. Practicing on the chair, feet are rooting down, pressing into the earth. Legs are engaged, just as if you were standing. And then the next time you come to heart center, we'll pause for a moment. And then this time, bring the hands behind you. You can interlace them if that feels good in your shoulders, or just place your hands wherever feels comfortable in your shoulders. And bend the front knee. This time we'll be doing Humble Warrior or a bow. Not touching my nose to the knee, not even folding in half, but just coming forward as a gentle bow, keeping that spine nice and long. So the head isn't dropping, not like bowing your head, that you're coming forward, just bringing your heart toward your knee, and then pausing there and coming back up and straightening the front. So we'll inhale, come into humble. Exhale. Breathing in, feet are pressing into the earth, all three corners, breathing out. Coming out. We'll do one more. And back up. Keep your foundation though, because now we'll move between peaceful warrior and humble warrior. So we'll inhale into peaceful warrior. Exhale, coming forward to humble. Breathing into peaceful. Exhaling, humble. We'll do that one more time. Breathing into peaceful. Exhale, humble. Now come up to center and straighten that front leg. And then we'll gently bring the back leg or extended leg forward and find your Tadasana. So folks on chairs, come forward, seated forward in Tadasana. And now we'll be ready to switch over to the other side. So take the opposite leg back. You're still facing forward, but the opposite leg is back. Take a moment to explore how that feels. Are your feet the right distance apart? Do they feel good? How's this extended leg? How's that foot? In the chair, it's going to be bent a little because you want to be able to press the whole foot into the earth. And then we'll go ahead and face forward. And inhale, we'll come into warrior one. Just be here for a moment. So nice tall spine, arms extended or at W, whatever feels best in your shoulders. Exhale, straighten the front leg if you're standing and bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, warrior one. Front knee bent. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and move through this movement a few times with your breath. Remembering to straighten that front leg when you bring your hands to heart center. Now we'll explore humble warrior on this side. So if you need to make any adjustment in that extended leg, so you can keep that strong foundation. All right, bring the hands behind you. Nice tall spine and come forward, hinging from the hips. Like I said, you don't have to come far. It's just a gentle bow, humble warrior. But keep the neck aligned with the rest of the spine. We're not dropping the head, staying aligned. Then we'll come to up. Inhale forward. Exhale. Come up. And move in and out of humble a few times with your breath. The next time you return to center, we'll go ahead and move between the two, both peaceful warrior and humble warrior. So I'm going to adjust. This leg is needing me to give it a lot of honor today. I got to find the right position for it, because yoga should never be a strain. It should never hurt. Should never be uncomfortable to the point where it's distracting you. So you want to be strong in your foundation. All right, so inhale, warrior one. Exhale, bowing to humble. Breathing into warrior one. Feet pressing into the earth. exhale to humble. Go ahead and move through this flow at your pace with your breath. If you think, oh, I can't remember, when am I supposed to inhale? When am I supposed to exhale? Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing in and out. It's all good. Not doing it wrong if you're not breathing exactly like the cues may say. It's okay. And always, you can always just hang out in one if you would like. Keep pressing into the earth. And then the next time you come up from humble, let's return to mountain. So heel toe that foot back to center. Bring that back leg forward. Let's explore a little tree, Vrikshasana, our tree posture, before we move into our seated positions for today. So variation, there's 100 at least variations of tree. I will not share all of them with you today, but here are some options for your foundation. So you decide which leg is going to be your supporting leg first. Doesn't matter which one. And that foot roots into the earth. And the knee, standing, the knee should still have a little micro bend in it. Now the other leg, you'll open that hip to the side. And then if you're seated, we'll show some variations for seated. You could just be here. The thing is, our hip is open. Or you could bring that foot in closer and just bring the heel up to the inside of that ankle. Or if you'd like, you can rest it up on a block, which is kind of nice because you can kind of relax into this open hip a little easier that way. If you don't have a block, you could use a book or a big fat pillow or something. So those are some options for the foundation on the chair. For standing, you have your chair, of course, that you can stand behind. And you can always have one hand resting lightly on the chair. Options, maybe you root down in that foot, you bend this knee, open it to the side. Maybe this is where you stay, right here. You will feel a sensation of balance. It doesn't matter that these toes are on the floor, the heel's up. You will feel a sensation of balance. If you want to explore coming up a bit higher, you can bring your foot up to a block, open the hip, and that gives you a little more openness, a little more of a balance challenge. So those are some variations. Now, the thing with a balance posture is you want to make sure you have a drishti or a focal point. So something that you can stare at, focus on during the practice, something that is not moving. Okay. All right, so let's build our foundation. So root down into the supporting leg, slight bend in the knee, whether you're on the chair or on the mat. And then bend the knee of the other leg and let that hip open to the side. You have your focal point, something you're looking at that is not moving. It might be 6 feet ahead on the floor. Maybe it's right above the screen. It depends on what you want. Maybe it's a window that you're looking at or a tree. And then you can bring your hands at heart center, and where you have your arms, it's different for everyone. So you explore and see what you like. You can have your hands at heart center. Maybe they're out to the sides. Lower your shoulders down and back, like a pine tree. Maybe you want to bring them up like a nice round apple tree. Or maybe you love the idea of them being outstretched. You decide. Keep your focal point and just keep breathing naturally. Just making sure you're not holding your breath, just breathing naturally. And just Notice all the sensations you're experiencing in your body and where. Balance takes all of it. If you're not engaging your core, try doing that. That can really support with balance. I always have to remind myself to do that. And then we'll just bring our hands nicely, slowly, gently downward. Bring that knee forward and bring the foot to earth. Whew. And then shake out that supporting leg because it just did a lot of work. On the chair, the leg is rooted down into the earth, so the leg is engaged the whole time. So it needs to be shaken out as well. Now let's move to the other side. So now the opposite leg roots down into the earth. And then open up the hip. And you can just be right here because you're rooting down into this leg. Okay. Not rooting down into this foot. Or you can bring it inward. Bring in the bottom of my foot is touching the inside of my ankle, or you can bring it up onto something. I like that because I can really get a lot more openness in the hip, but that's what my hips like. Your hips might not like that. Honor your body. All right, where do you want your hands? You can explore all the options and then pick one that's the best, or maybe you already know that you have a favorite. Focal point, drishti, just breathing in and out naturally. You let your shoulders relax a bit. It's okay if your elbows are slightly bent. It's okay if your elbows are all the way bent. It's all okay. You find the position that feels best in your body. Keep breathing with that focal point. Tree, Vrikshasana. Sending a lot of love out to all the trees as they do what they need to do to prepare for spring. Spring will come, and the trees know that, and we can be reminded of that as well. And then just slowly bring your arms into a relaxed position. Bring that knee forward and the foot to the earth. And come back to mountain. Rooting down into the three corners of the feet, legs engaged. Drawing in at the core, shoulders relaxed down and back, arms loosely at sides, palms out. Tadasana. Again, lowering the chin slightly. And then from here, we'll all move to the chair because our next practices are seated. So find your chair. And we'll take one leg out to the side. The other leg is forward. So they're like at L shape. They're in an L shape. Both are bent for now. And now we'll extend the side leg, resting on your heel. So your foot is off, the sole of your foot is off the earth, just the heel. Notice if your knee is a little hyperextended. If it is, just bring that heel back towards you a little bit. So there's a slight bend there. Okay, you're facing forward still. Here's your side leg. Now, relax your shoulders down and back. And I would invite you to place your fingertips on this shoulder that is opposite from the extended leg, just for some awareness to keep this shoulder back. And then we'll just gently move our hand down the leg as we come to the side, keeping this top shoulder back. And when you find the point that's like, yeah, this is good. I can feel it in my leg. I feel it in the side body. Shouldn't feel it in your neck. So if your neck is bothering, look downward or move the position of your neck. And then your hand, this out can remain here. You could bring your hand back to your hip, or you can bring it out stretched over your ear. That can feel really good if you have a healthy shoulder. So this is Parigasana or gate. And then we'll very slowly come out of it, bring our arm up our leg, bring that extended arm downward very slowly. And let this arm just reach downward. You could put your hand, you could hold onto your chair for support if you would like. And we'll bring the hand that was extended over the leg upward. So palm facing downward, then flip it upward at the shoulder height and bring it upward. You can have your gaze upward if that feels good in your neck. If not, look wherever you need to look to feel good in your neck. And this is Anamandalasana, half circle, some might call it half moon. And then we'll come back. We're going to move between the two. So we'll inhale to gate or Parigasana. Exhale to half circle for Anamandalasana. Move between the two. So slowly inhaling long, beautiful inhale. And then a long, beautiful exhale. So in a way, we're practicing Samavriti, or that even breath. Unless you're like, I just want to hang out in gate for a few breaths. You do it. It's your practice. Next time you come out half circle, just bring your arms and let them float downward. Yeah, we can just give a little assistance to that outstretched leg, heel toe it toward the front. This heel toe stuff is good for your feet. And heel toe the other foot out to the side. There we go. And then extend that leg. You might have to shift your position on your chair a little. Now, you can see my leg, it's hyperextended right now. So I'm just going to bring that heel backward to have a slight bend there. All right, you know where we're going. So let's move into gate. Different side of the body, might be a different experience. Slowly, and if you want to explore bringing that arm upward, you can. Different shoulder, different experience. Keep breathing. And then we'll come upward. And we'll move slowly into Anamandalasana. Always noticing and honoring the body. Just because something looked or felt a certain way on one side doesn't mean it will on the other side. Now we'll move between the two. So let's inhale. Keeping that top shoulder back so we're not collapsing forward. And then exhale. Go ahead and move through this a few times at your pace. You can go even slower. Not really necessary to go faster. Remember, we're looking for those lengthened and even inhales and exhales. That's the beautiful part of a breath practice. And then bring your arms to center and lower them downward. You can bring that extended foot to the earth, heel toe it forward. And let's just kind of shake our arms and shoulders and our legs and feet out a little bit. Maybe give the shoulder a little rub. Depends on what feels good to you. And now it's time for Shavasana. Shavasana is a resting posture, very important part of the practice where you rest. We practice resting and allow our body to absorb the benefits of the practice. So find your comfortable position for Shavasana. You can lay down on your mat or your floor, wherever, or on your couch or your bed, whatever, where you can outstretch your body and just be completely supported by the surface below you. You can also practice Shavasana on the chair. I'd invite you to scoot all the way back and let the back of the chair support you and hold you up, and use a little something for a footstool so that you can outstretch your legs and let them splay. So just the outsides of the feet are resting on the earth. It's a nice message to your feet that they don't have to be doing anything right now and they can completely relax. So get in that comfortable position where you feel your whole body supported. Take a nice deep breath and exhale. Just feel the heaviness of your lower body. Feel the heaviness, the softness, and the support. Bring your awareness to your torso. Just let it completely soften. Almost as if your shoulders are melting. Arms are just so light as they rest at your sides or in your lap. Palms up to receive the benefits. Let the neck soften. And your head, your scalp, your forehead. Bringing awareness to these areas, you'll notice that they do need to soften a bit. The area around your eyes, the area around your ears, your cheeks, and even your jaw. I'll tone the bell when it's time for us to close our practice. Bring some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Maybe move your head from side to side. Bring one foot to the earth and then the other with the knees bent. And if you're lying down, roll to one side and rest there for a moment. And we'll gently press ourselves back up to a seated position. With a very soft gaze, inhaling, taking the hands to sky. Exhaling, bringing toward earth. Breathing in and gathering up all the goodness from our practice. Breathing out, we release what no longer serves. One more breath in. Bring the palms together above your beautiful shining crown. And as you exhale, slowly bring them down to your heart center. I love and honor my body, mind, and spirit. Such an honor to practice with all of you today. May you be safe, may you be well, and may you be filled with peace. Thank you. So grateful to be able to practice with all of you. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you would like, and I will pause the recording, stop the recording.